What is going on, trainers? DrumVillain here, bringing you some more Pokemon Go PvP content, and if you've seen this, it means I found time to actually make this video before heading out to Seville, Spain, where I'm heading off to for this weekend for the Safari Zone. I'm still only halfway packed. I'm only like kind of prepped to go, but should be fine. Should be a short weekend. My gameplay day is Saturday, so if you do see me there, feel free to say hi. Looking forward to meet any of you guys that I do run into out there. So it's going to be a quick video today, quick team, nice, easy to play, tap, tap, tap for the Element Cup. It's going to be quick to the point because Element Cup, let's be fair, in general is a very basic cup. It's very much just RNG. It's whether you get the right lead, the right typings, just being grass, fire and water. It's just what you would expect. So nice, easy to play team, and let's just jump into it. One good thing about the Element Cup, and its very, very limited meta, is that it's quite accessible. You can come in with pretty cheap teams and still perform pretty well. It's very much you can't buy your way to victory constantly in this cup, which can be refreshing if you're used to just getting hard-walled by people that have the most meta Pokemon built in Go Battle League. And this team follows that mantra. It's a very cheap team. Every Pokemon I'm running only technically has one charge move, so you don't need to double move any of these Pokemon. You can if you want to, for a bit more versatility. But honestly, there's not much need. Also, one of these Pokemon is a Shadow, but you can get away with a regular version. This team's been holding fairly consistently for me in performance, going about neutral to positive matchups, like 3 out of 5 wins, that kind of average overall, which I'm playing against previous Legend Rank trainers at this point. Like, I've got a fairly high win rate overall for this season, so I'm playing against kind of top tier players, and it's still, you know, holding its own at just being a average performance team, which I think is very, very acceptable at that level for a cheap team that you're not willing to invest that much resources in. Personally, for me, I'm not wanting to invest too much at the minute because I'm saving Stardust for the Safari Zone in case there's any expensive special trades I want to make on the day. You know, I meet someone, they want to do a shiny regional trade or anything like that. It's going to cost a lot of dust to get that off them, so it'd be nice to have the Stardust to spare. With all that being said, if you're new here, consider subscribing. If you enjoyed the content, consider hitting the like button. Helps me out massively overall on the channel. And let's take a look at today's team. So the rough gist of the team is an ABB style line, but a very versatile one at that. So on the lead, we're going to be running Slowpoke as our water type A on the team, and this has got confusion for massive neutral damage on pretty much everything in the Element Cup meta. There's only Houndour and the other psychics like Slowpoke and Exeggcute that are going to be resisting that psychic damage. And speaking of Exeggcute, Shadow Exeggcute is our say swap. We can use a regular one if you want, again running confusion. And this is going to be to bait out any counters to grass types that the opponent might have, because confusion still hits them very hard. You're going to hit them for super effective with the Ancient Power, which is the charge move we're opting for. I got this Exeggcute after the opportunity to get rid of frustration, so we've got double moved it. But if you've got one that you've TM'd away frustration on, just give it Ancient Power. You don't really need any other charge moves apart from for very unique situations. And that's going to clear the way for Cottonee in the back to charm down whatever's left after any potential fires are dragged out and taken care of. And if you've played Element Cup before, you know that most games go very, very fast, and this team is no exception, having all the fast move pressure. There is a good chance that you'll get opportunity to get opponents' shields down, but I have won games where the opponents still have 2 shields left because they've hesitated to shield early game, and then it's cost them towards the end when they realise that we can just charm through or confusion through whatever's left at the back of their team. So matchup number 1, Slowpoke lead, very, very neutral lead. We're going to shield up just because we want Slowpoke to be healthy in case they still have a fire type in the back. They're going to bring in Cottonee after we take down their Slowpoke. We're going to throw and then swap straight to Exeggcute because no Pokemon on our team have a particularly bad matchup with Cottonee, and we have to bait out a fire, and they've got a Slugma in the back. This is fantastic. We get it out of the way. Exeggute's confusions are absolutely chunking away, even though we're taking regular because it's a rock throw Slugma, so we actually take that matchup against the fire type. Cottonee comes in, charms us down, but the damage is done to the opponent's team at this point. Their shield's down. We can survive a charge move from their Cottonee anyway on ours. We'll be able to get through them, charm them or confusion them down. The opponent surrenders. Good game. A lot of the time, Element Cup matches are determined entirely by whether or not you resist the opponent's fast move, and that tends to be the biggest factor I find in games overall, and that's what I love about confusion users, is there's very few things that are going to be resisting it. And like I said, if they're running a Slowpoke or an Exeggcute, they're going to be running a move that you're resisting as well because they're going to be running confusion. So it's a very, very positive setup. Slowpoke and Exeggcute are very very versatile, make a strong pairing, and then Cottonee's just strong in general, rounds out the team nicely. It's probably the most expensive Pokemon on the team to build Cottonee because it does have to be quite high in level compared to the other two, but it's still a reasonable pick to actually get access to and use for this cup. And if you've ran Element Cup before, or even what was the previous one where Cottonee was also dominant in that, the little cup, whatever it was, Cottonee's also smashes everything to pieces in there, so you probably would have one built there. So it's not a big deal to get one here in this, but you can go for something else if you want a different grass type. Something like Chikorita or Bulbasaur work very well. As well, it's just not as much fast move pressure, and it can sometimes not complement the fast move pressure from the Confusion users as much. We got an unnecessary boost there as well. Very, very cheeky taking the win there. When Exeggcute gets that ancient power boost, it is absolutely disgusting. Sorry, it's disgusting the damage it does. It's absolutely insane. Almost choked on my words, it was that appalling. Now, in this matchup, the opponent leads a Vulpix and swaps out into their own Slowpoke, and the way I like to play this is going for our own Psyshock first and then swapping out into Exeggcute, because you can take whatever charge move they throw and then just finish off confusioning them down. If they shield the Psyshock from you, swap to Exeggcute anyway, you're gonna have a shield advantage, they're gonna be resisting your confusion, you're resisting theirs, and you can still control that matchup if you need to then get Slowpoke aligned with their Vulpix later on. The confusions chunk away massively. They build up a reasonable amount of energy here, and I wasn't sure how hard the body... Oh, no, we gamble. It's not enough to take us out, but it will get us pretty low. They've got Ducklett in the back. We've got a shield advantage. We're going to bring in Cottonee and just go for the aggressive Charm Down. Now, the name of the game is Do Not Let a Brave Bird Through. We're actually, because we've got two shields, we're expecting them to go for double Bubble Beam bait, but if I was in that position, I would probably have gone for the Brave Bird Hail Mary, which made me a little bit paranoid, so I decided to shield up. At this point, I'm going to shield again, because I'm not confident that they can get to a Brave Bird as well as this Bubble Beam. Hopefully we can charm them down. We're able to. Now, the Vulpix, can it take us out? It's going to have to throw energy, and I believe the Vulpix is in range of one Confusion. It should be able to finish it off. Can we survive the fast moves long enough? We simultaneously KO. We have a tie. Awesome little draw there. You don't often see it in Go Battle League draws, but what actually happens is when you've got ELO rating, it just works out neutrally. It'll say you've taken a loss and you won't get a reward for winning, but you won't gain or lose any ELO for that particular matchup. Okay, Slowpoke leads can be a little awkward. I tend to like to swap to Exeggcute, catch a Psyshock, and then see what the opponent chooses to do. In this situation, it baits out a Vulpix that opts to go for an aggressive finishing us off. We're going to bring Slowpoke back in, go straight for the Psyshock, take them straight out. Hopefully that's the only fire type on the opponent's team handled, but also they do have a Slowpoke on the lead, so maybe they're running an ABB line as well. With double fire, if they are, there isn't going to be that much we can do unless we can just charm through with two shields. Some fire types Cottonee can win just if it's got two shields, just to relentlessly charm through an opponent's team. They got Chikorita. Chikorita can spam body slams all it wants, but it's not going to be able to outpace us on damage, so the opponent surrenders. It's going to be a good game. Exeggcute doing absolutely everything it needed to do there, just in pulling out that Vulpix to clear the way for Cottonee. Matchup 5, Chinchou lead. We're going to swap straight to Exeggcute since both Cottonee and Exeggcute have better matchups against Chinchou. Slowpoke doesn't do bad as long as you can correctly shield a Thunderbolt, but there is the opportunity for them to Bubble Beam bait you, and then you're really on the back foot. We actually bait out a Cottonee with our Exeggcute, which isn't the worst thing. We get a shield advantage, and I think at this point we're going to bring in our Cottonee, because we know they had quite a bit of energy built up. We don't have to shield this, we'll let it go through. I'm going to charm down entirely, see what the opponent chooses to do. Cottonee with an energy advantage is quite threatening to most things in the meta except for hard fire types, and since they didn't bring one into Exeggcute, we're assuming they haven't got one. They bring an Exeggcute of their own. We forced the last shield, and now we've got a 2 shield advantage. So can Slowpoke carry us through the rest of this game? This is probably just a Bubble Beam, right? Yeah, it's just a Bubble Beam. That's a ballsy call when we've got 2 shields left, but it's going to pay off pretty well for us here, because this means now that the Chinchou just has to spam Bubble Beams in hopes that somehow it can out-damage us, but it's really not going to be able to. Due to the slow confusion, they'll get one more move off. It's worth a shield. Now it doesn't matter if their Exeggcute has some energy left in the back. We should just be able to finish them off. Although we are double debuffed, Will this Psyshock plus the psychic damage be enough? The opponent doesn't get the ancient power boost. That's quite lucky for us. Well, it's at least not good luck for them. We're going to clear the attack debuff by swapping to Cottonee, getting one more charm in, and then we're going to get 2 confusions through, finish them off. One fast move away from being taken out ourselves, but very, very good game. So actually taking 4 wins and a draw in that first set, so very, very strong performance. Like I said, in a lot of neutral matchups, you're just going to be able to fast move your way through a lot of teams, and then when you've got a bad lead, you still have the opportunity to flip it round with the Exeggcute and possibly clearing the way for a Cottonee charm down at the end. So, matchup 6, Vulpix lead. And you might find that not all Vulpixes are running Ember. See, this Vulpix in particular isn't running Ember as its fast move, so it's hitting us for neutral. But still, that combined with the body slam is still not enough to really threaten us. Even though it's a Shadow, it is going to get us fairly low. They're going to swap out to their own Slowpoke. We're going to bring in Cottonee because we know that Vulpix resists the charm damage. So we want to spend Cottonee here. We get a huge lag spike. No idea how many confusions or charms we've gone through at this point. I'm going to shield at this move. Regardless, we should be able to get... Can we charm down entirely? Yes, just before they get to another side shot. That's fantastic. We've got a lot of energy to spare here. The Vulpix is going to dump some of it straight away. We might let this go, yeah. Let this go down, save the shield for Exeggcute charm down against whatever's in the back. We bring in Slowpoke, which is a bit of a mistake because we get fast move down and lose that potential to potentially have more energy on Exeggcute because the opponent has a ducklett in the back, so we really needed the Slowpoke to either clear a Bubble Beam debuff or to at least catch a charge move so we don't have to risk shielding up a Bubble Beam, which we actually call the Bubble Beam bait here, which is absolutely amazing for us, but we're not quite going to be able to survive to make it to another ancient power to finish them off, so we're going to take an L there. It's a good game to the opponent. Even if we'd have shielded up that Bubble Beam, they'd have made it to either a Brave Bird, an Aerial Ace, or even another Bubble Beam there obviously would have taken us out all the same, so really we had to come in with Exeggcute to farm down the Vulpix, and then save Slowpoke to catch any energy or clear any debuffs. If I'm moving pretty fast in this video, it's just because I'm in a bit of a rush to get the video uploaded and ready for you guys before I go to Seville, Spain for this weekend. So if I'm rushing through games and not being as clear as I might normally be, I apologise for that, but I'd rather get a video up than not for you guys. So this matchup, we bait out a Vulpix, we've got Slowpoke ready to clear it out. Afterwards we're going to shut at the body slam, doesn't really matter that much. They might make it to another charge move, not quite. We've now got nearly 2 Psyshocks worth of energy here, so we're going to go ahead, throw one, see if they choose to shield, and if not, we're going to throw. But if they do, we're going to throw the second one. They let it go through, so we decide to finish confusioning down, threaten whatever's in the back with another Psyshock. It's a ducklett. This will probably force the last shield, even though ducklett is reasonably bulky in this cup. So now we're in a 0 shield scenario, and is this ducklett going to throw a Brave Bird? It's going to throw an Aerial Ace. What is it going to do? If it throws Brave Bird, it will probably finish us off. It is the Brave Bird. Now, we might be able to confusion them down, actually, here. It's going to be very close. Another tie! We confusion down, we get wing attack down. It's a draw. Good game to the opponent. We did swap to the Cottonee, hoping that if they had Brave Bird, they would just throw it and debuff themselves and hoped for that kind of outcome. But obviously, we hoped Slowpoke would actually survive to the end game and actually finish them off before they finished us. But a tie is nothing to sniff at in that kind of scenario at the end. This matchup, we're going to swap out into Cottonee to meet their ducklett. The main reason for this being is that they had Bulbasaur on the lead, which is part poison type, which means it's going to be resisting the charms from Cottonee, whereas it's going to be taking super effective damage from either the confusion from Slowpoke or the confusion from Exeggcute. So really this is the worst matchup on our team. For Bulbasaur, we don't mind about controlling switch advantage. We're just going to completely finish off the ducklett with Slowpoke. Bulbasaur decides to come back in, and we're going to go straight for Psyshock. See if we take them out. They're going to have to shield this if they don't want to get absolutely annihilated. Bulbasaur is going to shield. We're going to swap to Exeggcute, and I don't think we're going to shield this move. Maybe we will. Yeah, we'll shield up. Okay, that's fine. It's a Sludge Bomb. Definitely a good shield. That would have definitely one-shotted us. The opponent brings in a Slowpoke. We're going to hit them with this Ancient Power while we've got the chance. Do we get the boost? It would absolutely clinch this matchup if we do. We don't. That's fine. Slowpoke has to throw, otherwise we're going to confusion them down. They're going to take us out, but then we can confusion down with Slowpoke, and we should be able to finish off the Bulbasaur as well, because they should be energy dry after using that Sludge Bomb on us. Finish them off. Good game to the opponent. GG. If they had have thrown 2 seed bombs, like thrown one to get our shield against Exeggcute and then save one for that Slowpoke at the end, we might have been screwed. But they didn't. They threw the sludge bomb, so good luck for us and GG to that opponent. Now, Seal lead on this team can be a bit of a pain if it's got Lick as a fast move, but the fact that they're swapped out, makes me think they've probably got Ice Shard as a fast move, which is quite threatening to our grasses in the back. So we're going to soften up the Cottonee that swaps in, finish charming them down and see what this Seal wants to do. We're going to get to a Seed Bomb. It's going to do big damage if they don't shield up. They're going to have to throw moves to take us out. So we're pretty comfortable with this position. We're not going to shield anything they throw. We're going to let them take us out, come back in with Slowpoke and carry on confusioning down to get some energy. So we've still got 2 shields. They've got 1. I think we might shield at this move just to preserve a bit of health on Slowpoke, otherwise we're at a risk of just getting worn down, and then that Seal might be able to put some serious work in on Exeggcute in the back. The opponent's got a Wooper. We're going to shield at this Body Slam because the switch timers were slightly out of sync, and now we should have thrown that Psyshock, I think, before we swapped to Exeggcute, but we did want to. I can see the advantage to banking it, but Wooper is very spammy. We're going to not quite take us out. We're going to get to this Ancient Power. Is it enough to finish off the Wooper? If they let it through, it is enough, barely. The Seal comes in, farms us down. Now they've still got a shield. Where shield's down, they're going to make it to a move before we can confusion down. They're going to take us out and take the win. Well played to this opponent. Good game. Alright, last matchup, and we're on a win, a tie, and 2 losses in this second set. So can we balance it out with 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw for a completely neutral set? Ducklett on the lead. That's pretty reasonable, pretty neutral matchup. They swap out into Shadow Chikorita, and we make a mistake in bringing in Shadow Exeggcute, just because these Body Slams from Chikorita are much more threatening over time to Exeggcute than they are to Cottonee. So there is going to be pressure on us to shield here in this situation, because Chikorita gets these Body Slams very quickly. It's very spammy. We're going to be able to confusion down entirely. We're going to throw these Rock Slides, not Rock Slides, sorry, if only Rock Slide. We're going to throw Ancient Power at the Ducklett. We don't get a boost. We're going to get farmed down. Ducklett gets a bit of energy, which is a little bit scary, but also we're going to get to the Psyshock before they get to a potential Brave Bird. This will probably get a shield. It doesn't. Gets them reasonably low, and I think at this point we're going to not shield. No, we shield. It's a Brave Bird. That's a very good shield, actually. They've got Cottonee in the back, and actually shielding up that Brave Bird, that is fantastic, because there's no shield pressure from Cottonee onto our Cottonee because we're resisting the grass moves, and we should be able to get to a charge move, surviving long enough to finish them off, and then hopefully charm down the Ducklett before they're able to wing attack us down. It might be close. Maybe Slowpoke has enough health to sneak one more confusion through. We're going to choose to go for a complete charm down, throw the Seed Bomb straight at the Ducklett, take him straight out, and take that win. Good game. So there you go, guys. Nice, quick, easy to play, easy to use team for the Element Cup. Fairly cheap as well, not requiring those second charge moves or too much thought in how to play it. Just try and line up with the good types and see if you can bait out a fire with the Exeggcute. So, as I said before, if I see any of you guys in Seville, come up, say hi, it'd be great to meet you. I gotta go finish packing, so I will catch all of you absolute legends next time.